What we're going to talk about now is a base level sales skill that most of us learned when we were in our first 6 months of our sales career, a long time ago for some of us. And we learned it in the context of a specific interaction between customer and salesperson. And the skill is objection handling. I don't usually pick out skills to talk about specifically, but this one's bloody important, and I want to spend some time on it. We're taught a technique for handling objections early in our sales career, and we're taught that clients will give objections throughout the sales cycle. It's too expensive. I don't want to work with your company. Those kind of things. And we're taught a process that causes us to ask questions of the objection, to clarify it, to find a way of restating it in terms that are good for us, and then to answer it. Here's what we see in the field working with high-performing salespeople. This is important. The highest performing salespeople out there in the market treat everything a client does during any interaction, a question, a comment, a movement, the fact that they stop, answer their cell phone while you're presenting to them, anything, as an objection. How many of you have been in this situation? You're describing your company's product and service. Maybe it's something that applies on a company's network or in their technology environment. And the client will look at you and say, so, if I wanted to add 5 extra sites to my network, you're telling me I could do that, right? How many of you just would answer, absolutely you can, and continue talking about what you were talking about? And how many of you take the time to stop and objection handle that question? Why might you be opening 5 new sites? Have you got any plans to open 5 new sites? When are you opening 5 new sites? So what you're telling me is that the solution you actually need is 5 additional sites onto the network we were talking about. And if we could do that, you'd be extremely interested in working with us and buying our solution from us. Qualifying the opportunity further, trial closing the opportunity further, and moving it forward. Remember as well that customers sometimes ask you questions because they're trying to trap you. You'll be asked something about your functionality, and you'll give the answer that gives them a precise view of your functionality, only to be told by the customer, well, actually, I'm glad you gave me that information because that's not what we're looking for, so actually that's not going to work for us. The key is to question everything. If you're in the middle of a presentation and the 2 people you're presenting to choose to stop and have a little conversation while you're presenting, you're going to carry on presenting? Or are you going to objection handle? Are you going to stop and say, I noticed you guys had some discussion there. Was there something I said that was particularly of interest, or can I clarify something for you? It's just good people management. It also means that you get a chance to draw out the customer's motivation rather than make assumptions before saying the stuff you're going to say. And the message is that you shouldn't wait for something to become an objection before handling the objection. Any question, any comment, certain types of body language. I noticed you stopped, sat back, folded your arms then. I was told in my youth that means you feel negatively now. Tell me how you're feeling. Anything the customer does is an opportunity for you to stop and qualify it. And it's that base skill that we learned when we were young of objection handling that provides you the tool to do it. Question it. Understand the depth. Restate it in meaningful terms. What you're actually telling me is, Mr. Client, that you would prefer us to do this, this, and this in order to be interested in doing business with us. Close it down. And if we could show you that, Mr. Customer, you'd absolutely move forward with us on the action plan we're proposing. And then answer it. I'm not proposing for 1 second you use these words. These are stilted words to illustrate a point. You've got to find your own way to do it. And we'll show some role-play material later with some of our clients that at least allows you to get your head around it a bit. And again, in the resource kit, we'll provide some tools. My steer is, successful salespeople, stop, qualify, objection handle, and move on, rather than just blindly answering all questions, blindly wandering through the sales cycle. They have control, and their destiny's in their hands.